Hello, Rusty Dog here. Welcome to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and today we're going to be doing the final leg of our journey, which took us from an airport in Gloucestershire for some random reason, and we flew across France and into Spain, and now we're here in the capital of Spain, Madrid, at the Barajas airport, and our next flight is going to be the finish line. It's going to be roughly around 3 hours if things go according to plan. It's around a 3-hour flight to Gibraltar from here, so we're going to need some extra fuel, and I wonder if I can actually call, just for the sake of immersion, if I can call a fuel truck from here. Let's see, I've just called fuel. Let's see if it'll come. I'm hearing something. Oh, it's a bus. Yeah, here's your jerry can. Yeah, so because I'm recording this video as opposed to live streaming it, I'll be able to edit out most of the boring parts. There's a fuel truck right there. It's right there. I wonder if I can request one from HTC. I don't really want to bring these guys online, to be honest. Oh, okay. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Maybe got to start my radios up. Maybe my electrics up. Maybe that'll help. Okay, so we started this journey in the in this plane. It had a different livery on at the time, I think, but we did change it to this one. And we took off from an airport in Gloucestershire, and we flew to London City Airport, and then from London City we went to Jersey. We being me and the plane. We went to Jersey in the Channel Islands, and then from Jersey in the Channel Islands we went to Saint Aignan in France. I think I'm getting that right. To Saint Aignan in France, and I was more wanting to land at these smaller airports than the big ones. Even though right now we are in a big airport, but it's okay. We've spent a little bit of time in Madrid here, so it's been good. Yes, from Saint Aignan, then we took off, and which was in France, and we took off and landed in Pamplona, and that's up in northern Spain, famous for its bull run and the tomatoes. I think tomatoes is in Pamplona, the tomato festival. I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, and then the last flight we did was from Pamplona down to Madrid, where if you joined us for that one, which was part 5, it was quite an amazing flight. We started off with decent weather, then the visibility dropped, and we got rain coming in. We got a beautiful 360-degree double rainbow, which I've never seen that in my life. Didn't even know it was a thing. And it was a cool flight. I enjoyed that one. So let's see how this one goes today. All right, so let's jump into the plane. Now, when I jumped in, if you recall, we have the computer up here left, where we have persistent state left on, which means whatever state I left the aircraft in is what it stays in. Now, here's the thing. When I got in, the throttle was up at the top, the mixtures were up at the top, which normally it shouldn't be, because the mixtures and the propeller RPM should be at the bottom, because that's what you do when you power the plane off. The power was on, battery and alternator, and the key has been turned. Did I really leave all that off? Sorry, did I really forget all of that? And not only that, we have the fuel tanks which are not switched off. So I don't know if that's a bug, that it didn't remember every switch, or what. So just in case, we're going to check the state of the battery, which is 11.8. That's normal, I think. Let's refill the oil while we're here because it's good maintenance. I don't think it's doing anything. Yeah, state saving is definitely on. That's really weird. Okay, we have auto fuel selection, which I'm going to try and stop doing auto fuel selection after this journey and do future flights without that, so I have to do it myself. It's basically just another way of trying to advance myself, really. So I think we do have a battery that's okay. I don't know why it was all switched on, to be honest. So let's get this thing fired up. Put the electrics on proper. Oh, you see, now we've already got a warning. Yeah, I don't know if this is some kind of bug or what, but it doesn't like something. You know what I think it is? If I had to guess? This thing. No, it only wants to exist in that bottom state. It's so weird, guys. I don't know what's going on with it. Anyway, alright. It's this persistent state thing, I don't know. I did mess with that switch, so that would probably be a reason why it's all messed up. I don't know. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 4 VORs today on our strictly instruments only trip. We've got 4 VORs to intercept and a waypoint that I created so we can turn on to Gibraltar's runway. And the first of those runways, the first of those waypoints is 113.2. Now we're going to have to somehow look onto that because we're flying out, and then I'm going to have to turn to 230 heading and try and intercept it from there. Okay, so it's 48 nautical miles to get to this one in Toledo. And then the next one after that is BLN, so I'm assuming that's Bailen, and that is at 116.20. I think I copied that down right. That's going to be our second one. All right. So I'm trying to just remember everything in sequence. I've been used to flying the Airbus, and yeah. This is a little bit less complicated, or it should be. But yeah, you never know with these things. I mean, it's supposed to be less complicated, but then again, the Airbus just has computers on board. But at least I don't have to file some complex flight plan. So I'm going to be converting this autopilot to Omni for now. I'm not going to need it for a little while. And I think we're okay. Fuel mixture up, propeller up, a little bit of throttle. I don't know what's going to happen with the undercarriage though, because I've got that switch in the bottom position, and I think when you do that, when I bring the undercarriage up, oh, there you go, the switch, the undercarriage lever was not in the correct position, so maybe now we can go to without it whinging. Right. Yes, I'll come to the fuel in a minute. All right. Yeah, that must be why it was having a whinge there. Very strange that some of these switches are all out of place. Okay, so let's get the thing fired up. I think we're okay. We have fuel off, so we better put that on. Otherwise we're not going to get any. Oh, and before we do fire the plane up, talking of fuel, we need to refill. I want to go to about 60 here. I'm going to put 60% of fuel in, and that should be enough to get us to Gibraltar. Alright, we'll check the fuel loads and stuff on the needles when we start it up. Okay, let's see if we get a start. Uh-oh. Oh, I got nothing. I've got absolutely nothing, guys. I knew it. Oh, now the battery's gone down. Well, that's not good. Do we have to hold this? Have to keep pressing this? It's only at 8.8, guys. Oh, that's not going to be enough to start the plane. Let's turn the what's going on here? Is that because of the magnetos dragging it down? Recharge. $8.8? What do I do now? Let's try and start it. Oh, okay, that was enough then. Does it? That it should go up now, right? Now that we've got the old whirly charger going around the alternator, it should up the. Yeah, it's going up now. Okay. Man, I didn't think it was going to start on 8.8 volts. Okay. So, let me just test a little bit of pressure here. I only wanted to go to 2000 there, but that's going to be good enough. 2000 revs, I mean. Right then, so fuel is here, and it's looking okay. Fuel pressure is a bit low, but I'm sure that would hopefully creep up, as will the oil pressure when things heat up. Alright then, are we ready? I don't even know what runway I'm going to be assigned. Or maybe I should just go and not get assigned one, because hey, you know what ATC's like, right? Once they start yapping, they don't shut up. So let me just have a look at the map to see where I need to go. So runway, I think it's 14 left, is pretty much round the corner. There's hardly any taxiing to be done at all. So let's just do that, I think. Alright, so we need to turn some instruments on then, so let's get that on. And is there no way to brighten this display up a little bit? It's not very bright, is it? No. Okay, that's set, that's set, that's set, that's set. I didn't move those switches off at all. We'll put this on standby, but I don't think we're going to be using it. I don't recall putting the landing lights on. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Got it the wrong way around. What the hell? What is going on with these switches? Right, anyway. And why is my... Okay, maybe I did move it out of the way. I certainly did. Right. Okay, enough pretend confusion. Let's go. Okay, so... I just need to bring over my throttle. And we're ready to go. Right, that's it. Excuse me while I need to clear my throat. I've just got one of those days. Okay, so parking brake off. Let's get this thing rolling out. And I think, therefore I am, I can just need to follow this yellow taxiway, I think. I think we can just peel off right here. Whoa, that was a bit quick. And the runway is soon going to be upon us. I'm just following on a little landmap map. Please don't let there be a plane coming. There you go. So hopefully, because we're now coming from the middle of, essentially the middle of Spain, all the way down to Gibraltar, hopefully the weather should be with us the whole time. Right, this is runway 14 left. This is where I would normally stop and do my last checks, but I'm good. Wow. Okay, this is a wide runway. And I'll tell you what, all the runways in Madrid, they are long ones. We've got 11,000 is the smallest runway, the lengthiest one. When you think an Airbus can land in around, is it 5,000 or 6,000, or take off on one of those? It's either take off or land. It only needs 5,000 or 6,000 feet. This is 11,000, and then the other runways are 13,000 feet here. Yeah, this is 11,682 feet. This thing. Right. Okay. So I think we're just going to hope we get onto the VOR soon. I know we're going to be switching over to 230 degrees, so I'm just going to pop that in right now. Maybe should have, which is quicker, this way. So we will need to set for 230, yeah. But I want that needle. That needle's got to be on the 2. Not the needle. That light's going to be on the 2 when we finally do intercept it at 13.2. Okay, 113.2. Right, there we go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, this is. I hope this bug that I think it's a bug. It better be a bug where if you're pressing the right mouse button to look around on the camera, you lose flight control. There's nothing you can do. There's no inputs you do matter. So if I push forward and back and forward and back, now I'm going to press the right mouse button to have a little look around, and as you can see, nothing. And as soon as I leave go of the camera, it's not good. Asobo need to fix this, like, in the next update. Seriously, it's that bad. Okay, anyway. Okay, this is not good. I need to see my manifold pressure. I want to get to about 40 on the manifold, I think. Okay, there we go. It wants to pull to the right drastically. Normally it's to the left, so maybe we've got some heavy wind. I don't know. Whoa. Wow, 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 this thing. I'm trying to keep it straight. I do have flaps on. Maybe I forgot to mention that, but I actually do. And we're up. Okay, now we need to go to heading 230. I can't turn, guys. Oh yeah, there we go. Wow, what's going on with this? You see the controls? Look at the controls. Look. I've got no flight controls, guys. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we're gonna have to crash this. Yeah. Did the wheels come up? No. Okay. What the hell? What the hell? Wow. You see this? You see all this just kick in? Alright, I am done with this saved state nonsense. I don't like it. So we're gonna go cold and dark. And we're gonna start from scratch. I had no flight control, guys. I couldn't turn left or right. Let's see if we have it now. There it is. All good. I had nothing. You saw it. I couldn't turn on the yoke. It was just crazy. All right. I didn't even prime the fuel either, but I don't think that would have done anything. So beacon light on. Pitot heat I don't think we're going to need. That was crazy. But I'm going to leave it in on the video. I'm not going to edit that out. So it's remembered these two frequencies, which is a good thing. Now I need to zoom right in to be able to hit this switch. It's just a way of things. Fuel off? Yeah, need to put the fuel back on. Okay. It's acting weird today, guys. Still have control. Is it going to carry on running? Battery voltage looks good. Alright. I'm starting not to trust this. Okay, we still have control, so we should be good. We should be good to go. Alright, let's taxi out again. Emergency brake off. Excuse me. Have a cup of tea. Little stutter there. Okay, we are clear there. That's always good. Don't want to see a big jumbo jet coming in when I'm crossing in this little thing. I'd like to see, it's probably realistic, but I would like to see this display to be a little bit brighter. We do have panel lighting that we can do, but I don't think it's going to enhance that. Okay, so flaps are in position 1. I'm just going to go for a straight takeoff. Still have the yoke is still working correctly. Oh dear. See, why? You know, could be a myriad of reasons why we get this. Okay, I'm going to push up to... I'm just slightly pulling back on the joystick, just very slightly, to try and keep this front wheel a little bit more stable. I am fighting a little bit of pull to the right, but that was pretty smooth, and I didn't hear the gear go up. Alright, we have a turn now. We're able to turn. So this thing that happened, hopefully it doesn't happen again. I have never seen that before. That is a whole new one on me. So we'll just descend slowly. And there is Madrid. Yeah, it's really weird. As I'm moving the mouse here, I don't think it's interfering, but it feels like it's just not smooth. I don't know. So we'll sit at around, it's a long flight today, so we're going to go up to around 6,000, I think. Just want to confirm, I did hear the wheels come in, but like I said, I don't trust it. So we have picked up the VOR by the looks of it, although it's saying something here, but I don't get why we don't have a light on. We don't have a light on here. Good here. How strange. I mean, it's only, well, it's 48 nautical miles, so maybe, or 43 now. But I believed. See, you get this scroll away when you lose position on your when you're twiddling the knobs and switches, you lose position on that. See, I was under the impression that as soon as this picked up the VOR, that it would get picked up on here at the same time. That looks to be not the case. Try and pitch trim the aircraft. Right now we're okay for heading, even though we're not quite level. So this is Madrid, guys. It's big. I've been here a few times. I lived about 40 minutes away from Madrid. Yeah. Look at this thing. Look at this thing. Where are you going? Did I prime the fuel? I don't think so. Right, so there's the yellow arrow, which is where we need to be heading. But nothing's been picked up on this dial, which is worrying me. That is in nav mode. If I set the heading bug also to 230, then I can have the plane just fly on that heading. Right. So let's do that. Let's just have the autopilot engaged. And I'm going to just have the altitude hold as well, just for now, because we're at 7,400, which is more than we want it to be. So I guess the plane just wants to adjust itself, which is fine by me. Actually, it looks like it is. It's homing in on. It's got. I got it on Omni, and it is homing in on the. Is it? I was going to say it's homing in on the VOR, but I don't think it is. I think we're a little bit off. Oh, okay. It's correcting. Why don't we have a to or from here? I've never known that not to happen. I mean, look, all the information is here. 36 nautical miles. Okay. It should have 2 on there. Got I want to know is yeah, we can bring the gear out. Kind of crucial for coming into land that I know I can do that. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with this. I mean, I've got the right degrees. Sorry, that was the plane adjusting because I moved this, but it's not lit up here. Frequency is correct, obviously 113.20. It doesn't matter. I mean, I know it's 2, but it's not going to matter. But all looks good. So we have. If I had to guess now, that'll be 24. We've probably got about 30 miles to go to the first waypoint. So what I'm going to do is just before we get there, I'll be back. So this will be instant for you. So I'll be back in 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we are 3.9 nautical miles away and going down. Yeah, now, okay. The reason this wasn't working was because it was switched off. Obviously, I'd forgotten I didn't forget, but I just didn't connect the two things about me going back into a cold and dark state. That obviously reset these switches back to off. So yeah, I know. So once I set them all into the correct positions, now we have this thing working. So now we're 2.5 nautical miles. We need to turn to a heading of 164 degrees. I'm going to let the autopilot do that. I've already got it programmed into the heading bug here, 164. So the moment we get up to the VOR, which we're coming up to very shortly, I just think I just need to switch this from nav into heading mode, and we will be good to go. Okay, excuse my throat again. It's part of who I am, guys. I can't prevent it. It's part of who I am. I just need the throat clear. I am burdened with this. Okay, so we're under a nautical mile. We can make the switch now. So let's do that into heading. And now the plane should turn onto the heading bug, which is 164. And while it's doing that, I'm going to set up the next frequency, which is 116. 0.20 the same, and the next one that we'll be getting is in Granada, which is at 113.40, so I'm going to put that one down here. Alright, so I don't expect that we're going to pick up this next one soon, because now we are at 118. Sorry, 118, where'd I get that from? We're at 164, so I'm going to stick on the heading mode for now until we pick up the VOR, and then we'll switch it back to Omni. But it's going to be a while, guys, because while we're settled here at 7,250 feet, while we're settled at that, the distance we have to go to get to the next one is 114 nautical miles. So it's quite a distance, and I don't expect this to pick up that VOR anytime soon. So we're just going to stay on this heading, stay on this altitude. I have, while we've been away, I have reset the fuel mixture here, which I think is looking pretty good. I brought the propeller revs down to 2,300, which is where I like to sit, and I brought the throttle down, so the manifold is sitting at 25. I think 20 is probably where you need to be, but I'm just going a little bit more. I'm at 25 inches, I think that is measured in, and that's it. Should be smooth sailing. So until we get close to the next waypoint, I'll come back. Should take a look around. Very Spanish looking, lots of brown fields and whatnot, and then lots of orange roofs and white buildings. Yeah, okay, so we'll get back when we get closer to the marker, or if anything interesting turns up. Hi guys, just a quick thing I wanted to show you, just in case it doesn't crop up again. We've got the sun right in front of us. I've got the blind down at the moment. Let's see if I can do this. There's a point where when you bring the blind up, you get this flash on the screen. Watch. Oh, it's not doing it. Of course it isn't. Of course it isn't. It was doing it just a second ago. Every time I brought the blind up, the screen would just flash, and then put it down and it would flash again. And I realized that the reason it was doing that... Let's see if I can make it do it. There we go. There you go. That's it. I just had to pop my head up a little bit. See how it's doing that? It's because it's catching the sun, and that's the point where that's going, and it's blinding me. And I love how this is in the game. In the sim, sorry. Yeah, look at this. Blind mode. Oh, get those aviators on. Look at that. Whoa. Yeah, so you can see why I've got this down. Just a bit more comfortable traveling on the eyes. Yeah. I just wanted to show you that. I'll be back. Alright, we are back. The nav has picked up the let me get my head together, has picked up the next VOR, so we're going to tune that in. I think I should go this way. It should be still on the 164 heading that we're on right now, so if I tune 164, that line should go right smack in the middle, and it doesn't. So I'm going to do a slight correction. I'm going to slide over in my seat, so I'm looking right at it. Take your pick. 162, 163. Let's go 163. I'm quite happy with that. Okay, so I'm going to switch this now to Omni. So now it's going to line up this line. It's going to follow whatever heading we've got set here. Instead of when we're on heading, it follows the course on the heading bug. Now we've gone to Omni, it's going to follow the VOR on this heading. Alright, so what we can do now is program in the heading that we get to after this one, which is 198. So now we can do that on the heading bug, because we're not going to need the heading anymore until we get to this VOR that we're coming to. So we're going to program in 198. There it is. There's the heading bug right there, the little orange, what looks like a pair of underpants there. And yeah, we just wait now. This will line up once the plane is happy. It'll line up correctly, and as you can see from our point of view here, that needle looks spot on. It's only a degree difference from the heading I had written down, but I trust the instruments more than myself, so we're heading on the 163 heading. It's having to move around a bit, so I don't know, maybe a little bit of gustiness, small breeze I would say, nothing too major. We're not that high up. Once I get down to the Malaga area, because we're going to be flying from Granada to Malaga, I'm going to start reducing the altitude down to 4,000 or 5,000 feet, because from Malaga to Gibraltar it's not much. In fact, I may come down to 3,500, 4,000, something like that, in preparation for the final descent. Look at the wavy cockpit going on there with the heat from the propellers. Yeah, I don't know much about this plane. I don't know if it's this and the heat rising from up here. I don't know. I don't know where that's coming from actually, or if it's just blowback from the thing. But yeah, there's definitely a heat distortion going on there. So far, smooth flights, no issues, no sudden weather changes, and no strange rainbows. It's all a little bit serene. So I'm just going to lay back in my seat. I've got my sunblind down, and I'm just going to chill for the next 27 nautical miles when the plane will require my input once again. So until then, I will be back. Alrighty then, we are about to make our next turn and head for the next beacon, which is 113.4. I think I was trying to program that in earlier. Yeah, I switched to 114 for some reason, unless I did program it wrong. So once we get to the VOR here, we're going to be taking a heading of 198, which is already programmed on here, so it's just literally the flick of a switch. And yes, as I mentioned in a previous video, I am slightly cheating on this flight in that I'm using the secret altitude hold autopilot, which this plane doesn't have. It doesn't altitude hold. It will autopilot for you, but you have to maintain the heading yourself. Sorry, you have to maintain the altitude yourself. So you can get away with that by you don't have to keep holding the yoke. You can just trim the plane out with the wheel down here. Just trim it out on the elevation trim until you're at 0 and stable there, and you'll be okay for the most part. So to save me fiddling with that, I have trimmed it out to a pretty much level already, and once I did that, I just let the autopilot do it. Just a bit of a time saver. Okay, so let's switch to heading, and we're going to make this turn to 198. So it's a little bit of a turn, nothing too major. Okay, and we're going to program in the next frequency, the VOR that we're heading to, which is 113.40. Now this is 61 nautical miles, so it's going to be about, we're going to have to fly for about 20 miles before we pick it up. What we can do is stay on the previous one. I don't know if this is going to work. Let me just try something. If we program in the previous one here, 116.2, I don't think that's going to work. Oh yeah, there we go. And the course that we had actually does, well, we're going to have the same course right now, so it's 198. Let's go this way. We need that to say from there, and it should be around 198, I think. Although we're not going to get a distance, unfortunately. Well, there's 198. Okay. A bit different. Now we can have this display go to nav 2. Come on. And now that is the distance from the previous VOR. So once that gets to around 20-25, we should be able to flick the switch back to nav 1, and maybe it'll have picked it up already. So what heading are we on now? We're on 198. I'm going to just program this into here just so we're going to be close. And as soon as we pick up the VOR, we'll switch the autopilot back to Omni, so it can literally point towards the VOR rather than just a direct heading. We're doing okay on fuel. I've got it trimmed down a little bit more. I think once we reach Granada, I'm going to start just adding a little bit more. I mean, we're nearly at 25 manifold pressure. That's what I want to be. We're almost there. But the fuel flow looks good. We're doing around, what, 5 gallons per hour fuel flow, something like that. That's not too bad. That's not too bad at all. Look at this thing moving around. And it should, I'm going to put it at 198. It should really settle at 198 because that's the course we're on. Yeah, we did make a turn. And of course, maybe it's just trying to settle down from there. Yeah, so once we hit that, we can switch up to nav 1 and it will be picking it up from this one. Tell us how far it is before we get there. So right now this relates to this down. From, isn't it? From. We are 7 nautical miles, or we're going to be 7 nautical miles from the previous waypoint. Awesome. Okay, so when we get to pick up the next waypoint and whatnot, I'll be back. Take a look. Looks like we've got some mountain regions coming up. I hope we can get over that. We may have to climb I don't know what the altitude on that is. We may have to climb. There. Hopefully we'll find out before we crash into it. Okay, back soon. Okay, we're back, and we're just flying over the small town of Jaén, which I did mention on my last stream. Couldn't find the bloody thing on the map, but there it is. Again, it's another town I've driven through. You kind of go by there when you're driving from Madrid to Gibraltar anyway. And we're off to... the next waypoint is in Granada. And it's not normally... Granada's a place where people go to enjoy a little bit of skiing on the snow-covered mountains. So whether we'll see any, I don't know. But this is why the region's getting mountainous here. There's a place called Sierra Nevada, but it's going to be... Sierra Nevada is going to be 2 hours west once we reach Granada. So I think Sierra Nevada's probably this top mountain here. That's going to be a Sierra Nevada, which is where the skiing is done. Yeah. But Granada itself, we're just going to be passing slightly to the west of the airport, and then to the east of the airport is the Sierra Nevada mountains right here. So right now it looks as though we're high enough. I did drop the altitude slightly down to 7,000. I probably should have adjusted this as well. So it turns out, just for confirmation, because I always wondered about these lines, the 6 is that little line, and that long line is the 7, and then that's 8, and the long line is 9,000. So we are at 7,000 feet. Temperature is 12, that looks like. Close enough. So here's our temperature here on this minus 30 to plus 30. So this is divided into 10. So there's 10, so 12 will be just after. What we need to do is line up the 7,000 with the 12. So there's 10. That's going to be... hold on. Yes, that's going to be another 5. So 10, so that's going to be 15. Oh no, it's 2 stages. Okay. So about there. And that gives us our airspeed at the standard pressure, right? Which is 29.92 standard pressure. It's indicating an airspeed of 128, 129. Ground speed here 127, and here our true airspeed 125. 124, 120. Okay, 124 then. So yeah, I don't pretend to understand all the differences. Obviously, this is our why ground speed is different to true airspeed. Something else I need to research. I've got some graphics tearing, eh? See, when I move around, you normally get rid of graphics tearing by enabling VSync, but I thought that was on. But yeah, so you would expect this to be somewhere around there. Oh well, look, it is around the 127. Yeah, it is around 127, so it's matching. I don't know if that's supposed to match the ground speed. I don't think so. Not necessarily. Anyway, so we are now 30 nautical miles away, so let's switch to nav 1 now, and it has picked it up. So we're going to do a slight course correction, put that needle in the middle, and we're going to switch to Omni, and the plane will now just slightly correct its course. Not that we're off course, because we're actually not, and pretty well. So the next frequency then will be Malaga, which is about an hour and 25 minutes from Gibraltar by car. So we are closing in, guys. and Malaga is at 113.55, and that, yeah, that's where it is. That needle just lined up there. It won't pick anything up from here though. So yeah, we have a little ways to go. We've got 29 nautical miles before we hit the Granada waypoint. When we do, I'll come back. And then we'll take a look and see if we can see the Sierra Nevada mountains on our left, and also Granada Airport, which is, it looks very small actually. Granada Airport, it's one, yeah it is, it looks like it's one runway, that's it, just like Gibraltar, one runway 09 and runway 09 and runway 27, exactly the same as Gibraltar was. Okay, leave you with this view and I'll be back. Hi guys, welcome back. Okay, so we should have Granada Airport on our left, airstrip I should say. Should be over here somewhere, I don't know if that's it. Oh, there it is, there it is, there it is, just going behind the wing. We need to make a turn now anyway. There it is. That's Granada. So these are Sierra Nevada. They're not really snowy at the moment, maybe up at the top or behind, I don't know. But we need to make a turn. Very shortly, we're 3 nautical miles away from the VOR. And we're going to do a slight right turn onto heading 220. Which I've already got programmed onto the heading bug. So again, just a case of switching this to heading to pick that up, and then we can switch frequencies to 113.55 up here, which will get us to our next VOR in Malaga. Yes sir. Let's make that turn then very soon. It's only a shallow turn, so we can get closer to the VOR before we start making it. Yeah, these ground textures, they look, I don't know, I just find that there's so many trees sometimes, like down here, like jungle sometimes. These textures, I don't know. Yeah. Not gonna complain. It's actually really good. Okay, we need to make that turn now. We should have done it a little while ago, but we're not far off. Once we pick up the VOR, the next one. So now that we're on heading, we can mess with this. So it just has to go up to 55 now, and it's already picked it up. So what I'm going to do is tune in until this needle goes to the middle, which is there, 220, and we can already switch back to, whoops, back to Omni. And we've got 37 nautical miles. I had it down as 39, but obviously we've covered a little way already. That gets us to Malaga. Then from Malaga, we get to my own waypoint, the one that I programmed in, and then that way we'll be able to switch to, because from Malaga we're going to be only moving 3 degrees to 217, so I can already put that on the heading bug. We'll be going to 217 after this. The plane's not following the heading bug right now, obviously it's on Omni, so it's following whatever's in here, which is 220. Yeah, so once we get to my waypoint, it's just a turn, 272, which really should be 270, but we'll line it all up anyway. And then we're going to be landing in Gibraltar. Wow, we'll actually be getting there. Right, let's have a look out. Wonder what that is. Underground bunker there. I don't know what it is. Yeah, we'll be seeing the Mediterranean Sea at the end of this, or just a glimpse of it, I would imagine, as we go down the Costa del Sol. As we go, we're flying over, after Malaga we'll pretty much be flying over Torremolinos, Benalmádena, Fuengirola, and then we'll miss out Marbella. Marbella will be on our right hand side, but we will see most of the Costa del Sol, and then we'll be coming into Gibraltar. Okay, so I'll be back in around 30 nautical miles. See you in a shorty while. So I thought I'd bring you back a little bit early. We've still got 24.5 nautical miles, but over there in the distance is the Mediterranean. That's all the sea, and there's the coast. So you'll be finding Malaga down here, and then Gibraltar will be somewhere along here, and that in the distance, over there on the horizon there, on a clear day, you will see Africa, which is cool, because if you think about it, if you're stood at the southern point of Gibraltar, and you can see Africa, which would be Morocco, basically. If you think about it, you're standing on one continent and looking at another, which is always kind of cool. It's a little bit shaky at the moment. We've got a little bit of wind here, which the plane is autopilot's trying to take care of. I guess it's due to the mountains. Yes, look at this. This is very reminiscent, because Malaga, you kind of fly in over the Mediterranean, pretty much like Gibraltar, and then you fly over land for a short while, and then you come down. I've landed at Malaga, I think, well, one time that I remember, I did land at Malaga. I think it's only been the once. I've taken off from Malaga and landed at Malaga. Yeah. That was to fly to the UK and back. Yeah, I went as a surprise visit for my grandmother's 90th birthday. That was some time ago. He didn't know I was going at all. It just turned up at the doorstep. It was fantastic. Alright, so we are on the final leg, really, if you think about it. Let me see if I can bring up a little map here so you guys can see what's going on. Let's pull this out. So MGA, that's your Malaga, that is your Malaga VOR there, I think. I think that's what that symbol is. And this is Gibraltar, that little blop on the end there is Gibraltar. So LXGB, that's our destination. There is the rock in Gibraltar. So we are here. This is us, the big plane. Exciting stuff. Yes, you see how it goes all flat here? That's it's so reminiscent. I just know that's familiar territory for me. All this, what you see here, this coastline, this is all the Costa del Sol, where the Brits like to go and booze it up and have Sunday roast when they can do it at home. Yeah. So where are we now? 17.4. Okay, so I'll wait until we get over these mountains and we'll get to the Malaga region, and then I'll be back again. So see you shortly. Okay guys, so we're back. We're flying over Malaga now. That's Malaga Airport right there. And in the distance, this mountain. Yep, it's Africa. Whoa, shut up. Right. Okay, so 6.2 nautical miles away, and then we're just going to make a very slight detour by basically just 3 degrees. That'll take us out over the Mediterranean and then into Gibraltar. So we're basically going to be flying like we are now out there to sea, and then we'll just take a right turn and fly straight in. So I don't know whether you guys want to stay with us for this one. Can't see Gibraltar as yet, but it's going to be somewhere back here. It looks like just continuous land, doesn't it? But it actually isn't. There are the Straits of Gibraltar separating the two. A little bit of snow back there. Yes, how familiar is all this? We've got the N340. Very dangerous road this. It's changed a lot though. And I have driven this road many times. Not usually beyond Malaga though. Normally I picked up clients from Malaga Airport many times, so I've actually been here quite a lot. And I have parked my car not there. Where's the car park? Yeah, they've got car parks here. Yeah, and so I've done this route all the way down a number of occasions. Can we see Gibraltar yet? It's somewhere. Alright, so we won't need VOR after this. Once that hit goes to blank, that's it. Already got the 217 heading programmed in, so we won't be using nav anymore. Now it's just going to be a simple case of getting to the waypoint that I wrote down on my little pad, which tells me that for the next 39 nautical miles I need to be flying at a heading of 217. That's all the information I have. I've upped the speed a little bit. Well, I've upped the throttle a little bit. 25, so we are going a little bit quicker. We're doing about 130 knots. That's our true airspeed. So why would I want to lie? Okay, let's change the heading then. Just going to fly just 3 degrees. It's barely a thing. And for 39 nautical miles out to sea, and then we'll just do the final turn. Gibraltar should be around here. Although why is all that land looks like it can keep going forever? Maybe that still is the Costa. Let's have a look from here. Yeah, because there's a very definitive stop. Although from here, from this angle, you can be forgiven in thinking it's one continuous piece of land. But then you've got Ceuta in Africa there. Tangiers you can't see from here anyway. It's on the other side a little bit. But the actual rock, yeah, not quite visible yet. So we are now flying. We've got Mijas on our right hand side, which is not this. Mijas is further on yet. So Torremolinos then and Benalmádena, which are quite close to each other here. I've spent many a nights in Benalmádena. So Torremolinos, more you're up here a bit, and Benalmádena, more you're down here a bit. And then we have Fuengirola, which is probably this, I guess. That'll be Fuengirola. And then as we go around the corner here, we get to here, which is Marbella. Alright, when Gibraltar becomes a visible thing and we're out far enough, I'll be back. Okay, so I knew that this heading was going to be 39 nautical miles. We are 35.4 away. So when it gets to almost 39, I'm going to make the turn onto 272 and oh, actually forget 272, let's just point straight to west. Yeah, we're still at 7,000. I'm going to use the final turn, after the final turn, to do this. I've not looked to see if Gibraltar's there. I actually haven't. That's Africa right there. Don't play the music. Yeah, so we'll just make this final turn, and then we're still going to be 18.3 nautical miles away from Gibraltar, so I'll be killing the autopilot at some point, but right now I can just change the heading to 272, I think. Might be a way to do this, or 270. Let's go 270 just to be on the safe side of things. So I think once we get to within a mile, so 38, 38.1, we'll start turning the plane, and then any other course corrections I'll make. I may choose to manually pilot the whole rest of the way. So 270, this is our final turn, should be. That's if the plane wants to make it. There it goes. And that should line us up with Gibraltar. Well, yep, not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. I'm going to just ease off a little bit because I think we're a little bit to one side, but it is mainly correct. Well, there is Gibraltar. Alright, so now I'm going to take off the altitude hold, and we're going to start descending. And then at some point I'm just going to take over. I think the heading could do with being a little bit further across. Not quite lined up with it yet. Again, the elevation trim seems to be backwards. I don't know why. I'm going to slow the plane down just a little. Landing lights on. I hope I have lined this up. Yeah, come on, let's bring the plane down. Gets rendered in little by little. We are a bit to the left of the runway, so I'm going to just keep it on autopilot and just have it adjust a little bit. take over, I think. So autopilot is off, mixture rich, propeller full. And I'll be going to flaps 1 shortly. I'll line this up myself. Yep, that's just me idling the throttle. I need to kill some speed off. I want to get down first. Maybe descending a little bit too quickly, but I'm okay with it. We are a little bit off the runway, but that's okay. Down. No? No. Not gear down. So, I'm going to pause because I'm really getting a little bit fed up of this now. Oops. Okay. I don't know what the hell, but the hell. Right, so we can stop descending for a little while. Fine. Speed is okay. Again, we need to keep going to the right. A little bit off. That was my fault, I guess, just putting the waypoint slightly in the wrong place. I should have realised, you know, when it was 272 instead of 270. Well, we are a bit low, but it's absolutely fine. Just put a bit of throttle in, I think. The important thing is to land. The PAPI lights are all red, as they should be. So we're just going to ascend a little bit. Don't want to scare any ships, dots and whatnot. Flaps 1. There, and on the right there we have the town of La Linea, which literally would translate to the line. So there we got 1 PAPI light on. That's getting better. I'm just going to stay at this altitude then. So that gives us 2. There we go. Flaps 2. And what we need to do now is just try and keep 2 red and 2 white. So I want to be landing at around, I don't know, is it 80 or 65? It's one of those two. Come on, give me another red. There you go. Now we'll just maintain this. You don't get a long runway here, so you got to make it count. Please don't swivel. Swivel a little bit. It does do that. Okay, so jumbos would tend to go to the end of the runway and then just do a turnaround. Do it right here. I know my way to get to the taxiways. Having driven across this runway thousands of times. Because of course, yeah, you can drive over this runway in your car. From this hangar here, you've got these barriers where cars can come. They should be down now, by the way, those barriers. Maybe they go down at all? I don't know. Maybe they go down if you actually talk to ATC and announce the fact that you are coming in. So landing lights off, anti-collision off. I'm going to park out the way. I don't want to take up the space of an EasyJet here. Now, I think I've seen aircraft parked there before, but I'm going to go over here. It's a pretty good representation of Gibraltar Airport, as it happens. It's a new airport. It hasn't been up for too long in this form. There was a previous one. It was a lot smaller. And then they built this bigger one. It hasn't been up for that long. I mean, it's, I don't know, less than 10 years, I would say, perhaps. Yeah, and it's a good representation. It does look like this. I've stood up here waiting for somebody before. It's so weird to see this, but yeah. So I think we'll just pull in next to this guy. There we go. Wow, we have reached our destination. Thrusters off. Propeller revs down. Shut up. I'll cut the engines out. Beacon light off. Magnetos off. Heading switch off. I don't have this thing in persistent state, so I don't need to remember to switch everything off here. But as a matter of course, I'm going to anyway. I should probably reset that switch down here. My hated switch. I'm going to read up on this again because, yeah, it is, like it says there, look, emergency down. I'm just going to now reset my pitch to 0. I can zero this with the throttle. No, that's not calibrated. Do it there. I'm not going to calibrate this way anyway. Yeah. I can't move it. Okay, we'll leave it as it is. It doesn't really matter. Before I switch off alternator and battery, I also need to make sure that the panel lights are switched off and the radio lights are off. I think that is it. I think that's it. Looks okay to me. Alternator off, battery off. Continue. And why not open the door? Seeing as how we have finally arrived. Everybody, welcome to Gibraltar. This is it. We made it all the way from Gloucestershire in 6 parts, but we made it safely. And there she is, the majestic rock, limestone, in case you're wondering, limestone. And most of it's hollow, thanks to World War II. There are pillboxes up here, gun emplacements and stuff. It's a very, from a military point of view, very strategic importance. And there's a lot of decent history about it. And I lived somewhere around the back there. See these buildings here? Well, behind those buildings there's another load of buildings. That might be a bit of it. I lived there. Okay, that's it. So I want to thank you guys for joining me on this VOR flight. Next time I do a VOR only flight, I'm going to try and... I don't know how I could step it up, really. I could manage my own fuel instead of having the plane manage it. I could do that. I still need to map out my route. A little nav map I find to be the best thing for that, really. So picking VORs and stuff. Yeah, so I'll probably stick with that. But I do have a little nav map running just to make sure that I'm on target, you know, following my flight path. So perhaps I can minimize that next time, so I don't have it, and I just literally have to rely on the instruments and not little nav map. So that'll be a step up, doing that and also managing my own fuel. Okay, so that's going to be that for now. I'll be back with more flights. I want to do some more in the Junkers plane, and also more in the Airbus, because I'm picking more things up as I go along. I've picked more things up since we did the last stream, which was Gatwick to Frankfurt. I've picked stuff up even since then. I've learned a bit more. Whether I've retained it, I don't know. I guess I just have to keep watching the same video again and again and again to just keep drumming it into me. But yeah, so I like to do more Airbus flights simply due to the fact that I want to learn, and I think I'm gonna have to take the plunge and sign up to Navigraph to get the charts, and then start to learn how to read charts. I know the basics of charts already, even though I've never actually looked at one. I've only seen ones on videos, and I've seen people explain them. So I know what some of the symbols are. So it's just a case of actually signing up and then looking at charts and then looking at videos that teach you how to read charts and what's going on. Yeah, so this is it. That's what's going to be coming, along with the Elite Dangerous stuff as well, of course. But I am really into flight sim at the moment, so I hope you guys can handle some of this content. I'm enjoying it. Oh, that's it. I can't think of anything more to say, other than thank you for joining me. I hope you watched all of the VOR series. It's a first for me doing VOR flight. So I'd done a couple of small ones and they worked out, and then I ended up doing this one from Gloucester to Gibraltar, GG. So yeah, it's worked out well. I think we've pretty much mastered it enough to do what I want. And this plane, come on, this Piper Turbo Arrow 3, just fantastic. It really is. Got 35% fuel left in it. And we filled up with 60, didn't we? So yeah, 25% we used. And 35 remaining. We didn't even use half a tank. I was flying, of course, I was flying so economical, but of course the higher you fly, the thinner the air, the less engine push you need to get through that air. And so the higher you go, the more fuel you save, right? Yeah, so done well. The left tank needs to be equalized, I think, up with the, I think when we touch this it'll do it. No. Okay, that's going to do it then. I hope you enjoyed the journey and the series. If you did, please leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Or if you didn't like it, tell me why. And anyway, so thanks a lot, and I'll catch you next time. Take care. Bye for now.